guys, thank you for coming on and doing this. So, like I was saying before, this is kind of just a general chat about, I guess, how we all ended up doing what we're doing in electronic music in general. And I've been listening to your album a lot since it came out. And First Contact is about, from what I can gather, it's sort of about these novel experiences and kind of the beauty and like things happening for the first time and kind of and in many different contexts. But one of the questions I've been asking a lot of people in these interviews, and kind of tying back into that, was kind of about your first experiences in electronic music. Do you guys have any sort of formative first clubbing experiences that sort of set you on a path to wanting to make electronic music and to doing what you're doing right now, I guess?
You want to go first?
Okay. I only really started getting into electronic music maybe like 3 years ago or four years ago. And that was when I went to this electronic music festival in Melbourne in Australia called Pitch Festival. And I think I saw Fatima Yamaha, and that was when I first started, like, that's like the first artist that I listened to where I was like, oh, I love this. Like, I really like electronic music.
Amazing. I feel like that's such a, like, most people's entry point to electronic music is like super brash, like terrible, like dubstep or EDM or something. So to have like Fatima Yamaha as like
a pretty tasteful entrance. I reckon.
Yeah,
I still think like you would have gone somewhere else, like gone out like to clubs on the Gold Coast first before you went to Pitch.
Yeah, actually that's true. I did go to clubs
but that was
on
like
the Gold Coast,
like formative,
yeah,
more formative experiences. Yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. For me,
what
like
clubs like yeah. Sorry, go on.
There's only really like one club that all of our friends were really going to when we first started going out, and it's called Elsewhere, because all of the other clubs on the Gold Coast, I don't know if you know much about Surfers Paradise, but it's like the very I don't know, full on party scene. It's like right next to the beach. It's kind of like the Jersey Shore of Australia, I guess. But
it really is.
Yeah, it's pretty full on. Like it used to be like they had these girls called Maids that would go around and like put money, wearing like gold bikinis, and would put like money in the parking meters so that like you didn't get fined and stuff. So it's kind of like I don't know. It's probably like a bit like Miami, I guess.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And what kind of music were they playing down there?
It just like depended where you go, but where we went was Elsewhere, and I think it's where we all started listening to dance music a bit more, and like I think one of like my earliest tracks that I remember from going out was probably the Bad Kingdom remix. The DJ Code Say Bad Kingdom remix is probably like the earliest electronic song I think I can remember from clubbing. But yeah, those are pretty good like entry points. Do either of you, so Fatima Yamaha is kind of your first experience, Amy, of like a set that like left an impression on you. Josh, like, do you have a particular set that in your mind you're just like, that was like a light bulb moment where you were like, oh yeah, this is something I'm really kind of into and is going to be like a big part of my life? Been to so many like good gigs that I think like same as Amy, Pitch Music Festival was amazing. I think seeing Bicep live was amazing for the first time. I think we saw them Pitch as well.
When you lost your wallet.
I lost like
and your phone.
I'm just out of control when I go to festivals. I just need to tone it down. I like lost my phone, wallet, and like almost lost the hire car keys. I just get really happy and just like lie down, and then like everything falls out of my pockets, and then it's just not a good ending.
Yeah, the next morning you have to go looking for it.
We definitely need to go to some festivals together then.
Yeah,
100%,
I think it was just like I think it was like during Opal, and I was like, this is my favorite song, and just like I was wearing like a golden robe and just like lied down in the dirt and was like, this is amazing, lied down, and then just like everything fell out of my pockets, and then I got up and kept dancing. And then
I think I have a photo or a video.
You have it? Wait, you have a? Okay, we'll have to check that out after.
Because everyone like dresses up for Pitch. It was like a golden
you're
kimono.
wearing a golden bro.
yeah. Well, like we'd already finished our set. Like I think we played on like the first day, so we could like hang out and like actually enjoy the festival. Which is like why I kind of like playing on the first day. But yeah, it was good. We just played then and then just got to really enjoy it. It was good.
Sick.
Oh, actually, no. Kiasmos was one of the other ones that I think we saw that was like quite a formative experience.
Sick.
Yeah, I really loved seeing Kiasmos.
Kiasmos, yeah. He's like, so a lot of the music that you guys make, I kind of, when I listen to you guys and your album, there's like, you guys seem to resonate with a lot of kind of introspective dance music that has real kind of depth and like emotion on like an electronic level. And when I first kind of found you guys, I was sort of reminded of like some sort of like Innervisions kind of stuff, and sort of there's like, for me there's like a influence of like things that like Dixon would play and stuff. Are there labels that you guys were kind of listening to or are listening to now that kind of you feel are like particularly like impactful in your life, or kind of have been a big influence in your sound, or even just artists in particular?
Well, yeah, we were listening to a lot of Frank Wiedemann and and like we love the Howling Project as well. So yeah, we love a lot of the Innervision stuff. But
like we're listening to a lot of Moderat as well.
Yeah, we both really love Moderat. Yeah, big fans. And like I'm a massive fan of Maids as well. So
I hope I can see them live
when they come
back.
If they come back together.
I think I've seen you guys both post like Moderat tunes like a couple of times. I was like,
yeah.
I think I noticed that. I think I read somewhere as well like Nicholas Jar's like an influence for you guys. Would you say it's true?
Yeah, I really love Nicholas Jar's music, but I've never really like been able to make anything that's like similar to it. Or I don't think I really want to make anything that's similar to it. I don't really want to jack anyone's style, and I like just appreciate that he's made like really good music. I think I just like take random things from like his production and kind of put it into our stuff as well.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
More techniques on the sounds themselves.
And am I right in thinking that you're classically trained, or you're both classically trained, or Josh, you're classically trained? Sort of, did you have like a grounding in classical music when you guys were starting out, or? Yeah,
so Amy's the pianist.
Yeah, like my mum got me into piano like when I think I was 5 or 6, and I did classical piano for like maybe I think until I was about 16. That was the worst sentence. I learnt classical piano until I was 16, and then I quit, which I'm really sad that I did that. But I still go back every now and then, and I'll like play the piano of all the old pieces that I used to play.
That's the thing, is like when you're young, like the idea of you kind of hit this age and playing like classical instruments like becomes this kind of, you're like, oh, that's not cool, I want to go do other things, and then like later on you kind of find yourself regretting it. Like I used to play flute when I was like 8 years old, and as soon as I turned like, I don't know, like hit like early teenage years, I was like, oh, the flute sucks, like this isn't cool. And then like now imagine if I could like rip out like jazz flute.
Bust out the flute.
What movie does he do that?
Anchorman.
Seriously, I'm like, imagine I'm like on
Burgundy
stage
styles.
at a festival and just like rip out the flute and like running around like wireless flute. Oh man, I'm actually gutted.
What's the smaller one? It's like is it piccolo?
Piccolo.
Yeah,
piccolo.
just like pocket piccolo. Bust it out.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be so sick. Like I'm heartbroken that I'm thinking about getting lessons and just like trying to get back to a place where like I can do at least like a little bit of flute, just because I think like, imagine if someone's like out of their mind in the crowd, they just look up and just like pulled out the flute.
Because you could like always do it in a plug-in, but it's not the same as like just having it like and just whipping out the flute.
Nah. I've also found like, and I kind of wanted to ask you guys a bit about playing live. Like playing electronic music live is like it's an interesting kind of thing to do, because you're kind of recreating music that has been created in this sort of like unnatural environment, you know, in like VSTs and virtual instruments and stuff, and as such when you then go to play live, I find there's certain things that like that you can do on stage that people really resonate with, and then there's things that people in the crowd don't resonate as much with. So for instance, like if I was to pull out like some modular kit on stage and spend like half an hour like twiddling with the knobs,
it
people
just
would
would make
be like,
no sense to anyone. Whereas if you brought out a flute, that would just be like
exactly, and like, but you might have like the chin strokers might be impressed. You might get like a certain like section of the crowd who are like, sweet modular, bro. Like, like, damn, bro. Oh, that's
yeah,
nice
he must
modular.
mix vinyl too.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask you guys about obviously being an actor that plays live and how you've sort of grown into that. How has that? What challenges has that kind of presented for you as people that kind of, you know, enjoy club music and have like, you know, been like have ingested a lot of like DJs and club culture? How have you kind of found building this live act, and what are kind of the things that you've enjoyed about playing live and becoming a live act versus just DJing, for instance?
Yeah, so we first started out just playing as a duo, and then slowly over the years we've like adopted a drummer. And I don't know, I guess like when you're playing live, anything that makes sense to the crowd, like a guitar or like keyboard, like it just makes sense for people. So I think like that's something that we've kept in the set, even though like I run a lot of like loops and like synth samples and stuff as well, that like I'm not like playing live, but I'm like fiddling with them and like changing the effects and stuff on them. But I guess like it just makes sense for someone to see you just like walking around with a guitar and playing it as well. So I think that's even like things like melodic hits and stuff, like I put onto like my SPD drum pad and stuff. So I think like once people see that, like there's like, oh, he's doing that thing with the sticks, and it just makes so much sense. But but you're right there, and then you do get like the chin strokers in the crowd as well that you kind of want to impress as well. So then like you do some cool shit with your other stuff on stage. But
you also like you know you don't have 12 arms, so it's like you know,
exactly.
You obviously in any track you've got like at least a couple of synths and layers, and like I mean I'm sure you're an incredible musician, but you can't like play everything at once. You know?
It is
like,
hard. Yeah, no, it's so hard. Yeah, you're right.
Amy, how have you found sort of singing live and sort of like going from, you know, writing in the studio? Have you always been someone who's like enjoyed performing and singing live, or is it something that kind of initially was intimidating, and how do you find it now?
I used to always I still am quite shy. So I remember when we first started playing shows, like I used to freak out, and like when I got on stage, I would like get so nervous and I'd look away.
And Amy has a mega quiet voice too. Like, so yeah. The sound guys always have a tricky time.
But yeah, I think over the years I've definitely I'm definitely a lot more confident on stage, and I enjoy performing a lot.
Yeah, Amy actually kills it on stage now. Like compared to like
really?
when we first started, like her presence from when we started to now is just like so different.
It's funny because like I like when I sort of started like singing on tracks. I was never a singer, but I was just kind of like, fuck it, I'm gonna give this a try. And then like I remember like when I first then had to like sing on stage, like the fear that was like injected into me. I just remember like I went to sing like the first word of like the song, and just like all I could let out was this dry little like
just a squeak.
It was mortifying. Like it was just like this little basement venue, and like I was just so nervous. There's like sweat running down my forehead, and I was just like, but I mean, as bad as it is,
one
like,
shot, one opportunity.
Mum's spaghetti. I don't know, it's kind of a bad thing, but like I started to find that if I had like a shot of tequila before I went on stage, that I'd be like a little bit more lively. I'd like come out on stage just to be like a little bit looser with the help of a little Don Julio or something.
Yeah, but, Amy just does shots before she goes on stage.
Yeah, I do 5 shots every time.
5 shots.
I actually have
5 shots, and she's like spinning around in circles, and then we're just like, all right, go. We just like let her out.
She's like on the floor, like
That's why I'm more confident now.
Real hard whiskey too.
Your growth on stage is just like more shots before coming out.
She thinks she's doing a really good job, but really she's just like drunk.
Note to self. So it's kind of moving from that. So you guys play live now. You tour and and by the looks of it, the shows have been like incredible. You guys are setting up shows all over Australia and stuff. Do you guys? I know that you guys have put together mixes and stuff before. Are you people who DJ a lot at home? Are you how do you find DJing in comparison to playing live? Is it something that you guys want to do a lot of kind of publicly, or is it something that just influences you at home, or do you enjoy DJing full stop?
I actually started DJing first before I started producing, so yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Have been for a while now, and then I think I started by playing other people's edits and stuff and going, oh, I want to make my own, and then started making my own remixes, and then started making our own production and stuff. And I love DJing, and I love song selecting, and I love playing with my friends and stuff. I just get really nervous playing in clubs. I love playing in clubs, but it's just I don't know, I just get, for some reason I can play whatever instrument, but as soon as there's a mixer in front of me, I'm just I wig out, and then I'm really good at beat matching when I don't know what it is, I've done it for ages, and I'm so fine at DJing, it's so easy, but then sometimes I just do whack shit and just don't beat match properly, and then I'm circling back. But yeah, I love DJing. It's so much fun, and I love that you can have your own character in it as well. It comes down to your song selection and stuff, and
yeah, that's funny though that you know, I would definitely say most people would find playing live far more intimidating than DJing, but I mean, that's I understand it as well, you know, that feeling when you kind of go into especially a big room, and your monitoring is different, and then you're just oh god, and it's such a simple thing you got to do really, or it's something that you do so often, but then you fuck it up, and you just kind of go inside yourself, and oh no, hiding.
Well, with live stuff, I guess everyone's there to see you, so it's that's the one stress is taken away. Whereas sometimes you'll be playing a DJ set in a random club somewhere, or it's not billed correctly or something, and you're playing earlier in the night, and you're just playing to 6 people that you have to really impress, that you do not know, they don't know you, so yeah, it's a big trust building exercise.
I love the warm up set. So I was a resident in Liverpool, which is where I went to university, and kind of how I got into all of this, I guess, was I was the resident at Chibuku, which was this big night there, and all the big acts would come to town, and my job every weekend would be to start with the room being completely empty, and then by the end of the of my set would sort of be teeing up the headliner. But I used to I love that progression, because I think first couple of times I would play, the idea of playing an empty room is kind of gutting it, and then I started to really love the almost game of you got to pull people onto the dance floor and slowly build up this set from you know, no one in the room, and I kind of miss that. I really miss getting to play the warm up sets and stuff. But and what about you, Amy? Do you DJ or?
I'm still learning.
Okay.
I do. I think I'm going to enjoy it heaps. I really picking selecting.
You don't enjoy it now?
No.
I will enjoy it.
Yeah, one day I'm going to enjoy it, but not today.
No, I like practicing, and I stay up late a lot and look for songs, and I enjoy doing that.
Have you guys ever played back to back in public, or?
No.
No, we have but it's been more Amy selects a song, and then I kind of mix it in, kind of thing. Whereas I think moving forward, yeah, I like that song. That's a good one, Josh.
I'm sure you guys have been asked this loads, but obviously being a brother sister duo, how does that kind of, do you feel it affects the process when you're writing music together? Because obviously I have 2 brothers, and you know, they're an extension of myself, you know, I'm super close with them, but they don't make music, and I always wondered what it's like to kind of make music with a sibling that you're so close to. Do you guys feel it's a special thing, or?
We definitely fight. We always have arguments, and yeah, but I don't know, it's good because we can be super honest with each other. Sometimes it's brutally honest, but we can just be straight up and be that sucks, or we don't like that. or that's not a vibe straight up. Whereas like if you're like working with someone else,
Yeah.
like there's a bit of like a, I don't know, this thing where you're like, oh, I don't know if I should tell them that I don't like it. Whereas like, oh, yeah, we don't
Yeah.
like it. They just move on to the next
But I
thing.
feel like over time you would start to get like that.
Yeah.
Like any group or.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, but that's like, you're so right. Like, it's so often that like you'll get like halfway into a day, and everyone in the room will just like know that what you're working on like isn't good enough. But like, it's so British just to be like. Often I'll turn around and be like, "Oh, are we vibing with this?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, I love it." It's like, you know. Whereas if it was like my brothers, I'd just be like, "This is shit. Let's move on, do something else."
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
And,
well, that's the
and they'd be
thing.
like,
That's
"Yeah,
exactly
great."
it.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
I
totally
think
it.
that's awesome. So you guys are, correct me if I'm wrong, you're half Australian, half Japanese, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys been over to Japan, and have you been able to experience any club culture out there? Have you been clubbing in Japan at all?
No, I haven't yet. I've never been old enough.
Yeah, you have to be 20 to go out in Japan.
Yeah. I can go
Really?
out now. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. What about you, Josh?
Clubbing in Japan's sick. Yeah, I spent like I spent heaps of time there. But like we try and go like once a year when obviously when we can go. But I spent maybe like 4 or 5 months there, and I don't know, until like the big clubs like Womb and like Ageha, which is like the 4-level ones, and like some other ones like kind of more grungier clubs, and like.
Sick. How do you find it like differs from Australia clubbing, for instance?
There's just like way more culture in Tokyo, and it's all different. Like there's hip hop bars, there's like just strictly vinyl only places as well, and then there's like the gigantic EDM 4-level clubs. Have you been?
Yeah, I played.
Yeah. Oh, sick. Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the club, which is really bad, but I've been to Tokyo twice, and it's like favorite place in the
it's
world.
so
It's
awesome.
just, like, insane.
Yeah, it's so sick.
Like the food, the culture, like everything is just like wild. But I haven't done like the deep dive on like the clubbing and like club culture, and I wanted to see how it differs, because Tokyo for me is one of those places that like you step off the plane. Most places in like Western world, and they're like fairly similar. You have the same like chains, the same like brands and stuff, and there might be a different language spoken, but culturally there's sort of a lot of parallels. But when I went to Tokyo, it was like I felt like I was in a new kind of universe. Even it's like there were so many things that were like done differently, but like in an amazing way, and it's kind of like I wondered what it was like to really dive into, I don't know, like some of the techno clubs there, or like what kind of music was like resonating out there.
It's really cool. Like I think that the deeper you go, the more friends you make, and like when you broaden your network there and stuff, it just like it opens up so much, and it just gets like deeper and deeper. And just I remember like I DJ'd at like my friend's birthday that like we don't even speak anymore because it's been so long. But like I remember I was there, and there was like 6 of us there, and like I walked into the bathroom and like, do you know Virgil Abloh?
Do you know?
Well, like it was just so random. It was like 6 or 7 years ago, or like maybe 8 years ago, and it was just like I walked like I was just like in the toilet with Virgil Abloh, and then he like walked out. I was like, wait a second, and then that was like my first DJ experience in
for a minute when you said Virgil, I thought you meant like personally for a minute, and I was like,
no, like I don't know him personally, and like he doesn't know who I am either, like from a bar of soap, but like it was just
he might do. He's pretty tapped in. He might have heard your guys' music.
Maybe, but yeah, it was it was just like a random birthday, and then like later on everyone left, and then it was just like 4 of us there just DJing in a club. It was so funny.
So on the topic of Virgil, I've read somewhere that you worked in fashion at one point, Josh, and you both are immaculately dressed individuals. Is fashion kind of...
I'm immaculately dressed in your merch.
that was actually just a compliment to myself.
I was waiting for you to like notice. I've slowly been going like this.
Dude, at the very start, I think it like glitched. I think we were setting up the audio. I was like, oh, you're wearing the shirt. I think we were like
okay.
setting up the voice now.
Oh, true. Okay.
Right. When we go back to it, but I was like,
right.
oh no, I thought you just were like, yeah, of course I am, and like carried on.
Oh man, here I am. I'm like just like counting down the minutes. I'm 30 minutes. Hasn't noticed yet. 32 minutes.
You're like, no, it's the first thing I noticed. But thank you for repping the merch, and if you're watching, go buy the merch. But
shout out. It looks really good on us.
I'm just pushing the merch. This is all
It's
this is
comfy
for.
too.
This was not a paid advertisement.
Yeah, this isn't actually an interview or a chat. This is just one long advert.
Shop the
for
buy
merch,
link.
in the description. But I wanted to ask you, like, is fashion part of like? How does fashion play a role in like you guys and how you express yourself on stage or like as artists? Because I feel like you guys, one of the things you're amazing at is you guys sort of build like a visual world around Lastlings, and there's like a very strong sort of aesthetic in the visuals. And I would say, does that like extend into the way you dress, and kind of how did you get into fashion or how did that become like a thing that you guys became really good at?
Well, we both started modelling when we were 13. Oh, I started when I was 13. I don't think you were 13.
great genes then.
Amy was 13 though. She sounded super young.
Yeah,
I was like
was
maybe
13.
16, 17.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that's how we started to get into fashion. Just
Yeah.
doing a lot of photo shoots and meeting lots of different people in the industry. And
Then we started to like get a lot of like friends who are stylists, and like our probably like closest fashion friends are probably this brand called Song for the Mute in Australia, and well we were really massive fans of their clothes before, and then we kind of hit them up for our first video clip to dress us, and that was super nice. And
now they're our family.
yeah, they're like a little family now, which is great. And I've been soundtracking their like soundtracking their campaigns and stuff, so I think I've done like 4 or 5 now, and they've been like playing in Dover Street Market and stuff, and like in their showroom in Sydney, so it's nice how like works hand in hand, and they make amazing clothes, so
we wear really, a lot of it on
really
stage
lucky.
and for shoots.
Yeah, shoots and stage.
So
normal
that's
way.
awesome. So do you guys have like other like favorite brands, or do you rep them on stage mostly then, or do you guys have like other brands that you guys are like big fans of particularly? Again, this is getting very brandy, isn't it? Very like
we're just like really chugging for our sponsorships. Like
but like personally, I actually love H&M.
Well, it just popped up on the screen.
Do you have any other favorite brands? Or?
I really like a Cold Wall and like all like that kind of stuff. And I don't know, over the years I've just gotten really like I wear a lot of black because I just like destroy anything that's colored or white. Like I would wear a white shirt and then like 20 seconds in I'll just drop something on it.
This shirt's gonna be
like I'm happy this is kind of like off-white because this will probably like last maybe like 3 days.
That was actually white to start with.
yeah, seriously, I put it on, it was like 10 seconds, it's changed colour. But like, if we've been lucky that we've been able to get like a more like expensive garments that kind of last a bit longer. So I think, I just couldn't get anything white that's expensive because I'd be so sad if I destroyed it.
So on the topic of like visuals and kind of the visual worlds you guys build, Amy, we spoke about how, like a TV show, Normal People, would influence the writing of All We Have, our song together. Goodbye now.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Every opportunity.
This is getting out of hand. But
Go stream times now.
Yeah. So it's clear that that visuals are something that inspire you guys, and I know that I've seen you post about a few animes, Amy, and I wanted to ask if are there films and visuals that have been a big part of Lastlings and your album, and do you kind of look to visual inspiration when writing music much?
Yeah, like Josh and I usually play a movie in the background when we're writing music, And
Really?
one of our favorites is Blade Runner. Like, I think that's our all-time favorite movie.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
No,
Can't really
that's
like
awesome.
get. I don't know. Like, I feel like studios are so boring. Like, it's just like walls and just. How do you get inspiration from walls? So we just kind of
No.
like. Yeah.
I've really got to this point where like I can't unless I'm just like working on production, finishing things. Like for writing now, like I find it really hard to just go into like a dungeon studio and do the thing now. Like I keep trying to put myself in like weird scenarios to write music, and like obviously that's, you know, lucky to be in a position to do that now. But like I'm going to like a residential studio in a couple of weeks just to like, it's like couple of hours outside of London, and it's like super beautiful, but I'm just gonna like bury myself in there and lose my mind. But yeah, I felt like there was such a kind of strong connection between even the I can't remember what they're called, canvases on Spotify, and some of the visuals that you kind of include in your music. Was there someone that you worked with across the whole album who dictated how it looked, or was that something that you guys kind of put together yourselves, or a combination, or?
We're pretty lucky. We have some like really talented friends. So all the stuff that's like on Spotify and all like the album trailer and stuff, we went to Japan to film, and it was all like, I guess it's all our visual inspiration and like kind of our creative direction and stuff. But like, it's like to actually like pull it off and get our ideas onto paper. Basically, like we needed our friends. Like Dylan, one of our close friends, is like a really talented director, and we went over with him to Japan, and like he was filming a lot of stuff and I filmed a bunch of stuff as well, and yeah, it was just like a really nice like collaborative process where we could, and like he has similar tastes as well, which is good, and I think he always has like our best interest at heart as well. So
that's sick.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I think we've like got a good thing with him, and he's done like the last 3 video clips. I think he did the first one, and then like the last one, and then the album trailer. So yeah, but yeah, we get a lot of inspiration from like different movies, and like love watching a film while I produce. Like it feels like I'm scoring the film or something as well. So.
I wish my friends were that talented, and all my friends just sit in the pub for like 12 hours a day on the weekend and like get hammered.
Yeah, I've got those friends as well, but like I'm lucky I've got like the other ones as well. Yeah,
it's balance, right?
Yeah, balance. Yeah.
So you guys are in Australia now, obviously, and you guys are, I guess Australia feels like the center of the universe right now, with you guys sort of being practically COVID free and having some return of normal life. Like, what's it like having clubs? Are clubs open right now? Have you had like a return to clubbing, and what did that feel like? Kind of having been in a pandemic and having those things taken away, like. Do you have like a newfound appreciation for those things now that they're back?
Yeah, the first thing I went to when everything went back to normal was a rave in Brisbane, and it was so fun, and like being able to dance again was like the best feeling. I missed it so much.
This topic's super hard for us though, because like it wasn't that bad where we live. Like everything. There was like a lot of restrictions and stuff, but like we could still go out and like
we just
go to the beach
dance,
and
that's all.
Couldn't go to clubs and dance, and yeah, I think we were really lucky where we were compared to a lot of other places in the world that like literally you can't even leave your house. But yeah, once everything started to open up, it really like opened up. Like it's all the raves went back to normal. There's like clubs opened, and I think now they're doing. We were supposed to go to Melbourne and do some shows, but there was some like border closures between the states, so we had to move some stuff. But a lot of stuff's moving around, so hopefully it's like gonna start becoming concrete.
Did you feel any kind of like sort of post pandemic like explosion, or was there not enough of a shutdown for like, because basically not the fear here, the kind of like there's an apprehension in the UK around the fact that we've been locked down so long that like. It's just like a ticking time bomb of like energy. Everyone's just like talking about this date, the 21st of June, which is when we're like basically going to be like let free, and it's looking like it's set up just to be utter chaos. Like was there any kind of sort
Anarchy
of
day?
Yeah, was there any sort of explosion as it like opened back up? Is there like a sense of people back in those environments just being like, oh shit, like we didn't have this for a second, and like a newfound energy there? Was there not enough of a closure to kind of feel that?
Well, Melbourne went down into full lockdown, and they had it really tough down there. So as soon as it's opened up, I've just seen all my friends down there, videos and like photos they send me. It just looks crazy at the moment. So I'm really excited to get down there. We're going down there next month to play some shows and DJing and stuff as well. So I'm really excited. Yeah, just the videos are psycho from down there.
I feel like the first thing we've got to do when I make it down to Australia, or you guys make it over to here, whatever, is we gotta go out together either to like a festival or a rave or something. Because
I thought you were gonna say
like,
a pub.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say pub.
That's what we've been talking
all
about.
right, if you guys come here, we're going to the pub, and if I come there, we're going
festival.
We'll go. Hey, either way round. Either way, it sounds great. So to kind of round this up, this is a funny question for you guys, but it's sort of I've been rounding off this series asking everyone this question, and it's all in regards to kind of things being shut and the pandemic and stuff. So you guys obviously have things back, you have clubs and all this, but I've been asking people, what is the first song that they play in like a post-pandemic world? Okay, so everything locks down and you're allowed back into the club for the first time to DJ for like, you know, for us it's like a year and a half going on now. Obviously you've had this moment kind of, but what is, if you were stepping out after a year and a half of like not being able to play records in a club or play music to people, what's the first song you play?
Oh my god.
That's so hard.
I don't want to hear. I'm sick of hearing ABBA, gimme, gimme, gimme. Never want to hear that song again.
I feel like, because obviously that song had the boiler room moment with Follamore, shout out Follamore, good friend of mine.
Oh dude, that moment was amazing, but it's just keeps going and going in like Australian culture.
Because he's sort of like, he's sick of it, speaking to him where he's like, oh god, like, he's basically like, every gig he plays now, he just get people going, play ABBA.
Play the song.
He's like, I'm not ABBA. Like, I didn't make this song. Like, I just played it one time. And like, and he's like, he's an incredible DJ. So it kind of like, I think it just like frustrates him that there's now a crowd of people, like a viral crowd, that are going just to like hear Follamore play like Gimme Gimme, when obviously he has like so much more to offer as a DJ. But I've kind of seen it become like, it's had this like snowball effect in Australia, and I just see crowds of like Australians like gimme, like jumping around. Okay, so it's not ABBA. What is it? It's a very on the spot question as well, and an annoying one, I know.
I'd love to play like any Nelly Furtado song. That'd be pretty fat.
I think mine
like
would
Promiscuous Girl or like Man Eater or something.
Yeah,
It'd be so
Man
huge.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I want to pick something. I want to pick something that's like a breakout song from like being locked up for so long, but nothing's coming to mind. So I'm just like, yeah, Promiscuous Girl.
Mine's Hung Up.
Madonna.
Yours Hung Up, Madonna.
Yeah.
I love that. You're like, I'm not gonna play Gimme Gimme, but I'm gonna play the song that samples it. Like,
yeah. Pretty much.
Absolute banger though. That album's so crazy. Like when you go back and listen to Confession and the Dance Floor, it's like, it's crazy how weighty the production is. I mean, again, shout out to Stuart Price who like produced all of it, and but it sounds like a club record. Like even if you compare it to like pop dance records, it's got like
it's huge.
Really
I love
like
It's really good.
Yeah, it's just got these like heavy instrumentals and then just like Madonna on the top of them. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
but
my friends and I always sing that one song.
Anytime I'm like DJing, or if it's like one of our like birthdays or just parties at home, all of Amy's friends will come up and be like, Josh, can you play Hung Up? Play Madonna. And I was like, oh, go away. No, I'm not. Like, okay, fine, I'll play it.
You're like, bro, fuck off, I'm mixing vinyl.
Yeah, I'm playing ABBA, go away.
Yeah, I'm playing obscure ambient techno, like, leave me alone, like, play Madonna.
I'm at 160
I
BPM. Bringing it down.
Yeah, I love you. I love your impression of Amy's friends as well.
Yeah.
That's his impression of me.
Yeah. Amy has like one
So-
tone. It's like, I'm Amy.
You just have a one-size-fits-all impression for Amy.
Dude, all of our friends do the Amy impression now, and like, I'm scared of this to go like on YouTube and stuff because now maybe everyone's gonna start doing it.
It's fine.
I'm gonna
I'm not
become a
popular
meme.
enough. It won't. Guys, great choices by the way. Thank you
Not
so much for
popular
doing
enough.
this.
You're on a billboard in Times Square, bro. don't give me that.
You know, it's been so strange because like all these things are going on around the album and the album that you guys have been a huge part of, and thank you. I love the tune we did together. But I've been sat here. This is basically my parents' attic. I've just like since there and stuff, and there's monitors behind me. But like basically since lockdown, I live in London, but like I live in a flat, and it's just like I lose my mind if I stay there because I'm just like locked down and just by myself in sort of a box room sort of thing. And it's been so strange because all these things are going on, but like I do the same shit every day. Like I'll go downstairs and I'll be like, you know, like the Times Square thing will happen, or like the James Corden thing, and I'll be like,
Oh yeah,
what's
that's
for dinner,
also
Mum?
huge.
Yeah, so huge.
Yeah.
Sorry, that sounded like such a like name drop as well. But yeah, I'll go downstairs with like no socks on. I'll be like, oh, Mum, what's for dinner? Like, it's like all these things are going on, but it just doesn't really feel like they're happening whatsoever. But no,
What's for dinner, Mum? I'm just on the phone to James Corden. Mum, shut up! I'm in front of James.
Mum, shut up! I'm talking to James Corden. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for doing this. I love the track we did. I can't wait to perform it live together, or even just to DJ it somewhere together. And I can't wait for said festival or pub when we finally get reunited in the sort of post-pandemic world. But
It's gonna be great.
Thanks for doing this, and I will speak to you guys as soon as possible. And see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us, man.